Is finished doesn't mean it's over or it's done. It is finished means it is complete. This was something that Father Tom emphasized in his amazing talk called The Word of the Cross. Even the final tragedy, death, was conquered by the love that never ends. God does everything that can possibly be done. It's God's complete way of saying, "My children, I love you, and I'm here with you." The question, why do bad things happen to good people, isn't really the question we should keep asking. Instead, we must bravely ask, how can I be a helper? We must say, God is good and life is messy and God has redeemed it all. We must say, Lord, have mercy, over and over. We say, help us understand, help us love. Does everything happen for a reason? Yes. But it's not the reason you think. It's not because you deserve one thing and someone else deserves something else. The reason is that everything in life, loss, joy, grief, gratitude, everything, is a chance to pray and a chance to love. It's a chance to seek the helper, to be the helper, and to pray and cry and give thanks. Helping others, we witness true goodness, and we share this goodness with a world that so desperately needs it. So with that, thank you for listening to The Wounded Healer, and thank you for being part of this continued conversation about what it means to be God's helper and to care for those that we come across, whether as professional caregivers or for those in our families. And since today is the Sunday of the Publican and the Pharisee, as we approach Lent, I thought I could read the Kentuckian for today. Let us flee the proud speaking of the Pharisee and learn the humility of the publican. And with groaning, let us cry unto the Savior, be merciful to us, for you alone are ready to forgive. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to The Wounded Healer, visiting Christ, visiting the sick, visiting ourselves. To contact Father Adrian and Chaplain Sarah, please write to woundedhealer@ancientfaith.com. This has been a listener-supported presentation of Ancient Faith Radio.
God came to thee, and in him the dead are made alive, as he is right for thee.
Proclaiming Christ, victor over sin and death. You're listening to Ancient Faith Radio, your Orthodox Internet radio connection.
This is Ancient Faith Today with Father Tom Soroka, a weekly live call-in show addressing the issues of our day from a distinctly Orthodox perspective. You can join the conversation by calling in at 855-237-2346. That's 855-AF-RADIO. Father Tom is the priest at St. Nicholas Orthodox Church in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and welcomes guests from across the globe to discuss important topics of interest. Here's Father Tom.
Welcome to Ancient Faith Today. This is Father Tom Soroka, and I'm so glad that you're with us this evening. We'll be taking your calls in a bit at 1-855-AF-RADIO. That's 1-855-237-2346. Matushka Trudy will be answering your calls tonight, so please make sure to turn the show volume off before you come on air. To participate online, we encourage you to go either to the AFR Facebook page at facebook.com/ancientfaithradio and place a question there in the thread for tonight's show where it is being live simulcast, or you can also go to facebook.com/ancientfaithtoday and place a question there in the thread for tonight's show. You can also send us an email at aft@ancientfaith.com. So let's get started. Our subject tonight might be a bit odd for an audio medium. A live call-in show talking about photographs might not seem very logical, but our wide reach helps spread the word about a wonderful resource that captures the beauty, drama, pathos, action, compassion, tenderness, and fellowship of those who live the Orthodox faith. So, while you're listening to this show right now or at your first opportunity, what I'd like you to do is go to the internet and go to orthphoto.net. That's orthphoto.net. And then click on Discover at the top of the page to view the thousands upon thousands of beautiful photographs that capture the beauty and spirit of Orthodoxy from across the globe. Photography has become ubiquitous with our smartphones featuring increasingly sophisticated cameras. However, good photographs are still quite rare. The ones that capture that unique moment in time where the lighting is perfect and the shading is dramatic. Beauty is defined as something that pleasurably exalts the mind or the spirit. And so many things in Orthodoxy are beautiful. It's a way of visually and even aurally uplifting the mind and the spirit to give us a glimpse of the ultimate beauty that is God Himself. These enduring images are a foretaste of the very kingdom of God given to us now by the Holy Spirit. So here to tell us more about the project of orthphoto.net and the current photo contest that they're sponsoring is Alexander Wasiluk. Alexander is a youth work coordinator in the Polish Orthodox Church. He's president of the OrthNet Association and the editor and co-founder of orthphoto.net. Additionally, he established a Polish website about and for Orthodox believers. He currently works for a photo educational project sponsored by Nikon Poland. He has worked closely with the international youth organization Syndesmos and has visited and photographed many Orthodox places around the world. And coming to us live from Poland, where it is actually 3 a.m. in the morning, is Alexander Wasiluk. Alexander, welcome to Ancient Faith Today, and good morning.
Good morning. Welcome, Father.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. It's a treat to talk to you. I know that we met briefly in Crete. But we have common friends, and I admire your work so much because you present and give a forum to the larger church, and often we forget that we are members of the worldwide body of the Orthodox Church, and so you are helping us stay connected with that. So thank you very much for joining us. Alexander, we want to get to know you a little bit, please. Tell us a little bit about yourself and also your life in the church. You are deeply connected with the Orthodox Church in Poland. But also, how did you become interested in photography? So tell us about yourself and your work in the church, your life in the church, and also in photography, please.
So I was born in 1975 in Orthodox family in Białystok, in the region of Poland where Orthodox people live most. This is the capital of Orthodoxy in Poland. It's kind of big city in terms of Poland, 300,000 people. And I was active in the church since the beginning because of my parents, because of my grandma. I start from being altar boy in the church, and then in Poland we have very active youth organization called Bractwo, Fellowship of Orthodox Youth. And I was active in this organization since the beginning. I started being active in the parish movement, and then by accident I went for the meeting of the General Assembly of our organization. And then during this meeting I just developed sport competitions for the youth in Poland. So my first
Wonderful.
activity in the church, let's say not in the parish, but in all Poland, was organizing every year sport competition for youth, not only youth, but for everyone, just to bring
wonderful.
people to the church and to do something together. And this way I was also invited to be board or a member of the board of the administration of the Fellowship of Orthodox Youth. And after 3 years, I also became president of the Fellowship of Orthodox Youth. And then I was
Wonderful.
responsible for organizing much more things, like event for 3,000 people on Mount Grabarka, only for young people, camps, printing books, many different things. And what was unique, everything was organized only by young people. I was in age 22 and I was responsible for very big and important projects, which gives me a lot of energy and experience also. So
That's incredible. Incredible.
Yeah. So
I did want to ask you before you go on with the idea of the photography and so forth. Tell us a little bit about the Orthodox Church in Poland, because from an American point of view, often when we think of Poland, we think of Roman Catholics, and it is wonderful to know that there are Orthodox people in Poland. Actually, my grandfather originally lived in Poland, which was part of the Russian Empire at that time. So, for instance, how many Orthodox Christians are there in Poland?
We have different numbers, but I think it's something around 300,000 people. So we are quite big minority, because in Poland we have around 40 million people. But also many of Orthodox people lives in northeast of Poland, and in my region it's about 30% of Orthodox people in Białystok, for example. So
I see.
the numbers are maybe not big, but we are quite strong and quite active. Maybe also because we are minority and we try to be together, and this gives us also extra energy and extra motivation to try to be together.
Indeed. So please tell us more about your photography and
maybe
how you've used that.
Just a few more words about Orthodox in Poland.
Yeah.
Just
sure,
because,
please. Yeah, that'd be great.
We should say a little bit more. And you say that for many people, Poland is a very Catholic country, and was also one of the reasons even why we started doing exhibition about Poland. Because whenever I travel, when I was active in the fellowship, I also was active in the Syndesmos, and whenever we go with the youth from Poland, everyone was very surprised that we are Orthodox from Poland, and quite often I was asked when I became Orthodox, and people were surprised that I was born also Orthodox. So in Poland, we are quite active church, because now we have more than 10 monasteries, probably more than 150 monks and nuns altogether. We have more than 200 churches, and we say that it's not nobody is quite clear, but some people say that Orthodoxy was first in Poland through the mission of the Cyrillus and Methodius. So Orthodoxy probably was on the Poland before official date of baptism, which was 1966. And since this time, we were always in Poland, and even in Poland, for some people, we are treated as people from Russia or from East, and they are sometimes surprised when we say, no, we live here forever. My grandparents and grandparents were at this place. in
That's great.
Podlasie region. So we have a lot of wooden churches, nice wooden churches, and currently many people moves from eastern part of Poland to the capital. So quite big number of Orthodox people also lives in Warsaw. And recently, in the last years, there is also big shift because many people from Ukraine, Belarus come to Poland for work. And when I say there is 200, 300,000 people, I spoke only about those who were born in Poland, but probably more than 500,000 people, which supposed to be Orthodox, some active, some not active, came from Ukraine, from Belarus to Poland.
see.
So we have quite big change in the in sense of church life in Poland. We are learning how to work with people who came from abroad.
And I'm also curious the language that you use in the divine services. Do you use Church Slavonic or do you use Polish?
Mostly we use Church Slavonic, but there are parishes and more parishes use Polish language, and sermon and Bible reading is in
Readings, yeah.
Polish. Yeah,
Excellent,
But
excellent. Very good.
mostly in Church Slavonic.
Very good. Good. So I apologize. I interrupted you about the photography, and I want to hear about that now. We do want to remind our listeners, if you have a question for Alexander about the site orthphoto.net, ORTHPHOTO.net. I notice on the live stream it's incorrect there. I apologize, but it's ORTHPHOTO.net. If you have a question about that site or about photography or about the Polish Orthodox Church, we'd love to hear from you. 1-855-AF-RADIO. That's 1-855-237-2346. Alexander, how did you get involved in photography? And how did you come to use this as a vehicle to express your love for the Orthodox faith?
I started photography on, I think I can say this, on Cyprus when I went for the youth leadership program. It was in 1994 probably, and I just took a very simple automatic camera from my sister, and I went to the church Panagia Angeloktisti. It's a church built by the angels in Cyprus with the group of people. And at this moment, I just try to find a different spot to take pictures. And it was film camera, so I need to come back to Poland and to develop this film. And this moment, I just realized that you need to use your brain, you need to use your foods, and you need to, you can achieve something special, something which is not visible for you even during the visit in some place. So it was kind of open eye moment for myself. And then I started taking more and more photos. I bought my first DSLR camera, still on the film, and then the era of the digital cameras came, which helps me a lot. And I bought another camera, and the love for the photography was growing. And since the beginning, it was connected to the church life, and maybe I should also come back a little bit to story of my life, because
Sure.
And when I was 25, I finished being the president of the Fellowship of Orthodox Youth, and I still need to do some not need, but I have some kind of inside voice calling me to do some things for the church, and I will finish also university as IT, so I have knowledge how to make web pages. And I have created web page Cerkiew.pl. This is the main unofficial web page for Orthodox people in Poland. It was time when probably most of the churches just starting the web pages. It was 2002, and we create quite nice project with about 50 young people. We create page where we speak about Orthodoxy in Poland. Our main goal was to just present the life of our church for ourselves, also to say when the something important is going on. But quickly it became also kind of mission, because many people who were interested in the Orthodoxy, it was first step for them to learn Orthodoxy in Poland. And those who try to convert to Orthodoxy from different religions, they start from the questions and answers, and we have even bishops who are answering our questions. For going to the chat, there was time when people used chat, so this was one part of the life of the Cerkiew.pl. Another part was also creating even marriages between people, because we give the chance before social media come to meet people from different parts of Poland to discuss together, and it was also a good source of new young people who wants to be active and develop this web page, because when they complain that something doesn't work, I ask them, come and join us. And it was really nice time. And because I love photography and I was active in some social web pages where photographers come and share photos, I just decided they want to have something similar, but only about Orthodox life. And I start creating the Ortphoto web page. It was 2004 probably. Yeah, it was 2004, and with some other friends who are graphic designers and IT programmers, we have started this page. And in my opinion, Ortphoto became, it is maybe only one pan-Orthodox web page, because we are able to speak with the image, not with the words. This is our limitation, words.
Yes.
It's quite often...
Whereas the image is universal.
Yes, exactly. Since the beginning, the idea of Ortphoto was international web page, and since the beginning we have a few languages ready, and now we have 11 languages on the web page. Incredible. But this is very big problem, because even the team, which is Cerkiew.pl and Ortphoto, or both teams are volunteers. So one of the problem is that many active people do not speak English, for example, and we need to find ways how to not lose these nice people in team even.
So, Alexander, I want to ask you, just before we go on to orthphoto.net, I want to go back and tell the listeners, you had mentioned this Polish website that you had started, Cerkiew.pl. It's in English, this would be CERKIEW.pl. CERKIEW.pl. And so you said, Alexander, that this is a sort of a meeting place for all Orthodox Christians in Poland to give them information about the church. Is that correct? This is, it's, I can see on there's Bible readings and articles and photographs and so forth. Now, is this an official site of the church, or is this just something that, like you said, you have developers and yourself contributing to?
Yeah, it's the second version, and it's kind of interesting story, because when I was starting this project, I went to Metropolitan Sava and asked him for the blessing to work on official web page, and he didn't bless this, and he blessed for unofficial web page, and it was perfect idea, because it gives us freedom of making mistakes, let's say.
Right. Sometimes that is the better way to go, right? You don't have somebody looking over your shoulder all the time, right?
Exactly. We have this freedom, especially because we were young people. We will have this freedom to do whatever we think it's important, what we want to do. And there were some problems like with the comments. On the beginning, they were just open for everyone. Then we need to find ways for the registration. Then even close for comments on the webpage because we have more active people who were not right to do comments, and we have less people to write but good comments. So this gives us a lot of freedom, especially at the time of the when we started. Because when we were starting this project, I was thinking about having 50 or 100 people per day, and quite quickly we reach 4,000 people, and I'm not sure how many it's now, but it's still about 4,000 people visits per day. So it's a huge amount of people. Official media in Poland start quoting us. So even we were unofficial, we became very popular, and we start thinking what we can say and what we cannot say, probably even now.
This is wonderful. I'm noticing, because the life of a website, the updating of the website is what keeps it alive, right? And you have new articles, like here on June 15th, you have 5 new articles. June 14th, 6 new articles. It's amazing that you are able to have these many stories, and you have the lives of the saints here, of course, in Polish, but through the magic of Google Translate, one could go on there and read that in English or whatever language that they want, with a rough translation. So it's amazing that you're doing all of that. God bless you for that kind of work. That's really incredible. 1-855-AF Radio. That's 1-855-237-2346. We are talking to Alexander Wasiluk from Poland at orthphoto.net, orthphoto.net. We encourage you to go there right now and click on Discover and poke around the page and check out the beauty that is on there. Alexander, let's talk a little bit about photography in general. We talked about how you became interested in photography and how you use this to build up and bring people together in the church. But I do want to talk a little bit about photography and about beauty, and all of the different ways that we see. I guess the first question that I want to ask you is, what do you feel is unique about photography? What is special about the photograph? Clearly, there's something about photography that speaks to you. Why is photography so perfect in the way that it can capture orthodoxy? What's special about photography?
Special about photography, I think that it capture moment in one how to say, it's kind of unique because in one image you freeze special moment, and I just found recently that sometimes when I'm going back to my trips, my meetings with the people, if I didn't have camera with myself and there is no photos from this event, I'm almost forgetting these events. And whenever I have just one photo, which is only one image, one moment, I can add story before and after this photo, and I know exactly what I was doing during this meeting with the people. So this is, for me, a unique thing when we speak about photography. This possibility to present not just this exact moment when you take picture, but also atmosphere, people, and everything in one single photo, and you can extend this picture.
It's incredible, really, when you look at the photographs on orthphoto.net. It sometimes feels like you are right there. It is amazing to see, I think often, both in Poland, of course, and in the United States, Orthodox people feel somewhat small. We are a minority. We're a very small minority in the United States. You are a small church in Poland, but we always have to remind ourselves that we are part of a larger body, a worldwide body. And that goes for people in the parish, because there are people in other cities and other towns that have Orthodox churches, but all around the world. And so what you've done here is you've taken these moments and brought them to the viewer of your website to be able to chronicle this amazing world of Orthodoxy that we're blessed with. I did want to ask you maybe just one quick question here, if you could. As a professional photographer, we all have cameras now on our phones, and actually, I mean, obviously they're not DSLRs. But I think the quality of the lenses is getting better and better all the time. The software on the phones are getting better and better. Can you give us maybe just a few tips, if that's possible, for those who are amateurs? They're not professional photographers. I'm not a professional photographer, and my photos sometimes seem very lifeless. What are some of the most important things that someone should remember when they are taking a photograph to make it a better photograph? What are some of the things, should we be taking? How do we frame? What are the colors, etc.? Can you help us with that a little bit? What are some tips for good photographs?
First of all, we need to remember that the camera is on the tool, and the place where we take pictures is our eyes, our brain, and this is the most important part of taking pictures, because sometimes even I forgot the English name of the photography, which you can make hole in the box, for example, and take beautiful picture. You do not need to have even camera. And you're right, at this moment, mobile phones sometimes are better to take pictures, because they can do very nice photography during night. They have a lot of software which enhance this picture for you. But the most important thing is to use your brain and to catch the light. We like to say about photography that we are searching for the light, because this is what creates atmosphere on the photo. If there is something, if you have nice light, something important on the photo, in this light and everything in the shadow, this is the accent on the photo. We should try to not take too much things on the photography. We need to try to be more concentrated on details. Details could be one person on the photography, and it could be also just not smell, the mic, things from the let's go farther. I mean, the very small details, like the blinking on the cross. This make people attractive in one moment, in one element. This is very important. And the third thing, it's the catching the moment, because sometimes.
Yeah, I was going to say, I hear exactly what you're saying, and I should say my mind sees what you're saying, because often when, let's just say we're taking a photograph of a group, right? So this is often people are snapping photographs of special days and special times. And I noticed that from a technical standpoint, and again, I'm not a photographer, but always we amateurs take our photographs from far back, and there's lots of people, and there's never any sort of like close up of a person or their expression or some detail of maybe the church or an icon or a building or something like that. You never see amateurs, that is non-professional photographers, fix on these details. It's always just some very wide shot where there are a lot of people and a lot of things going on. And your advice here is, I think, very good, because when I look at the photos on orthphoto.net, I'm seeing those details. Yes, there are, some very wide shots of churches and so forth, but also with the people, it seems like it's closer, like you can see the expressions on their face. Yes?
Yes. Sometimes it's very difficult to this is first thing which you need to learn when you're taking pictures, especially when you try to photograph people. You need not to steal the images, but try to create a connection between people. If this connection exists, it is easier to take nice picture. Of course, in terms of church photography, sometimes you take pictures of the special moments. Sometimes somebody is praying, somebody is in the very emotional mood, and you should not also try to create this connection and try to be as much as possible invisible. Always it's better to be not in the first position when you take pictures, and in church it's very important. This is one of the common problems of the photographers in the church. They try to take as much as possible. Digital camera allows you to take all the time pictures and be in the every important place, in the altar, everywhere. So this is when you start taking pictures more seriously in the church, or even if you are just believer with the smartphone, you need to remember that there are other people praying. So it's good to have beautiful photos, but in some moments probably it's better not to take picture, just to allow people for praying and not to disturb very, very intimate moment for them.
Excellent advice. Thank you very, very much. All right, 1-855-AF-RADIO. That's 1-855-237-2346. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to continue to talk to Alexander Vasiluk. We're talking about his excellent website. We want you to go there and visit it, orthphoto.net, orthphoto.net. Come right back after the break. We've got a lot more to talk about.
Father Tom will be back in a moment. In the meantime, the lines are open at 855-237-2346. Don't go away.
No end of books these days offer us techniques for self-improvement. But in the newest release from the Ancient Faith store, Gratitude in Life's Trenches, Robin Phillips takes a different tack. He shows us that God meets us where we are, in the pain and heartache of the present moment. Instead of looking for a way to escape from hardship, we can cultivate an attitude of gratitude, peace, and self-acceptance that will transform our experience of suffering. Drawing on his own experiences and his work as a consultant in the behavioral health industry, as well as stories of saints and sufferers, teachings of the fathers, and recent discoveries in neuroscience, Phillips shows us that the journey to personal well-being is one we can all travel, regardless of the hardships we may face. To find this book and others like it, you can go to store.ancientfaith.com. Again, that is store.ancientfaith.com.
We're back with Ancient Faith Today and Father Tom Soroka. Give us a call at 855-237-2346. Here once again is Father Tom.
Welcome back to Ancient Faith Today. We're talking with Alexander Vasiluk of orthphoto.net, orthphoto.net. And we're talking about capturing the beauty and the majesty of Orthodoxy. And this website kind of has a worldwide look of what Orthodoxy is all about. And I think, Alexander, I got the idea in my head that some people, many people, of course, don't even know what Orthodoxy is all about. And I think pointing them to your website is actually a very good idea, because they can see that this indeed is a worldwide body. So I want to get a little bit philosophical here, if you don't mind, because we had already mentioned that photography and cameras are ubiquitous. They are everywhere today. Everyone carries a pretty high quality camera with them that has a smartphone. We take pictures of many different things. However, most of the photos are in a way kind of lifeless. However, there is one site, one app that has become very popular. And of course, the name of that site is Instagram. So Instagram takes a different take on social media than something like Facebook, where you have a lot of text and interaction and so forth. Whereas Instagram seems to be the forum for photographs. This is the basis of Instagram. And there's one aspect of Instagram that is, to me, Alexander, a little bit troubling. And that is the people that have the highest number of followers on Instagram by the young people. The highest number of young followers seem to be people like models and wealthy people. And what happens is their photographs are in a way staged. That is to say, these photographs are they are set up in a very specific way to look perfect. They try to make women's bodies, men's bodies. They want to give an image of perfection, and they want to give an image of wealth. So everything is perfect, and they take picture of their food and it looks perfect, and their home and it looks perfect, and their clothes and it looks perfect. So here's my question for you. Because you have obviously helped in the growth of the church, you're promoting the church, you're working with young people. How is it that Orthodoxy can be active on forums like Instagram, but still get away from this idea of perfection, of this kind of static perfection that wealthy people and models and so forth are putting on Instagram? How should Orthodox people participate in forums and in apps like Instagram and still bring the beauty of Orthodoxy and the truth of Orthodoxy to places like that?
Very difficult question. First of all, I think we should understand that Facebook or Instagram, at least in my opinion, was not created to present beauty or to create place for discussion. It was place for selling, in fact. I use Facebook, I use Instagram also, and I'm pretty active in this social media. But since the in Facebook on the beginning, it was some kind of big discovered that after Syndesmos meetings in real, I can still have friends, be in touch in the friends online through the Facebook. Right. But with the time, in fact, I feel about these two social medias, two platforms as a place for selling things. for selling commercials, for
Right.
attracting people. So whenever I use Instagram or Facebook, I'm trying to promote orthoto, photography, orthodoxy. So this is the first thing which is in my mind, not just to show my ordinary life or just to have more and more followers. And in my opinion, if we want to avoid this situation of the Instagram when we are fighting for numbers of visitors and followers, this is the first
Right.
threat and problem. We should be as we are. We should present beauty of orthodoxy and try to be attractive, of course, but not just attractive for numbers, because then we forget who we are, what we are doing, and why we are this doing. And sometimes not numbers are important, and this is also a problem probably with us. If we, for example, think about Instagram and place where we want to present beauty of orthodoxy, we should not present too many pictures, because then we present also less interesting things. And in these days, people are very busy and selective, let's say. So
Yes.
if somebody is interested in nice body and all these celebrity things, then they will not go for other things, and they choose what you say, very well prepared material for them. And if they see that the material is not exactly like they're looking, they will not go and they will not look
Right.
at your photos. So you should do the
Right.
same. You should try to, if you do iconography, present the best icons which you make, or if you just
Good.
speak about icons, try to prepare all the materials as good as possible, because this is the life. If we speak about video materials, if you make now video longer than 5-10 minutes, you lose half of the people who can watch it. And so in one way, you need to prepare something short to attract people. And for those who really are interested in deep life of Orthodox, then they will go and they find places like Cerkiew.pl, for example, in Poland.
Right.
We start from the sport competition. We start from the, I don't know, iconography, church singing, photography. We bring people, bring interest, and then those who are really interested, they will go in deep, and we need to have both
Come
places,
more.
let's say.
Good.
So in my
That's very
advice is not to look for the numbers. They are sometimes also important, because with bigger numbers, then you have more tools, more possibility, and things like that. But if you are doing your things, your life, your webpage are growing. This is also a good case with the Orthoto, because we have started when Instagram and Facebook Instagram do not exist, and Facebook wasn't so popular.
Right.
So the
Right.
best years of Orthoto as a web page, it was a few years ago. We have every day a few hundred people visiting web page. Under one photo, we have comments like, I don't know, 100 comments from different countries. And when Instagram and Facebook appear, we lost it. There was another also reason when we lost it, because we are volunteers, and I was involved in the web exhibitions and other projects, and I just do not spend enough time for the Orthoto website and Orthoto team. So we are still team, but less active team in terms of Orthoto and what we are doing. And we see we cannot also say that Instagram or Facebook is bad, but I see that we need to go also there. We should not think about Orthoto as a web page, but we need to think about Orthoto as a project of photography in the internet. So not only internet.
Excellent.
Because this is very interesting thing with the Orthoto. We have started Orthoto just online, and one of my probably Orthoto exists because of Syndesmos also. You said before that we are minority and we search for other people like we, and this for me Syndesmos was the place where I learned that Orthodoxy is one big family. When we were sitting together in the campfire, people were singing in different languages, and I really feel like in one big family. And Orthoto is kind of extension of and trying to work also in this scheme that we are one big family. So that's why the image help us to be together, even if we do not speak. So I just lost what I want to trying to say. But
this is. Go ahead.
So I mean, we create the Orthoto, and people just start coming to the web page. And the first group which was very active was Serbs. They start doing meetings in Serbia for photographers. And when I went with the exhibition about Poland to Serbia, and I met 30 people there, and they were very close friends, and I just asked them how you became friends, and they asked me, "You don't know? We became friends through Orthoto," because this was our starting point, and they still good friends together. And this gives us opportunity to go outside online community. And next step after this meeting was organizing exhibition. The first exhibition of Orthoto was about 5th anniversary. Then we make exhibition about monasticism. And then I start thinking about one country, and we start with Poland, because I want to show people that in Poland we have Orthodox people. And this exhibition already visit 15 countries. So Orthoto is not only project on the web page, but it's kind of community of Orthodox photographers. And
yes,
this is what is very important for me now, after a few years where we were less active, to think, and I'm already inviting people from America and our listeners to help me in understanding better what should be Orthoto. And if somebody wants to help us with the Facebook, Instagram, we are open to work together, because at least for myself, working together is the most important thing and gives me much more fun and more energy to do things.
Okay, well, Alexander, let's stop there, because we want to get to these different photographers that you have assembled, Orthodox photographers from around the world. And I know one of them is a White House photographer here in the United States. And so tell us about the Orthoto Awards photo contest. And that's going from May 2nd through July 2nd. You are receiving submissions, correct? Can you walk us through what are the different categories that you are looking at photographs to be judged, who the judges are, what the process is, and what the result of this will be?
Yeah, I mean, we organized some competitions before, but this Orthoto Award was my dream, let's say, since the beginning of the project of Orthoto. I have two dreams which I never finished yet, and one is Orthoto Awards, where we can every year or maybe every second year try to find best Orthodox photographers and to present their work around, and also give them grants. This is one idea, and another idea is to organize international workshop for the photographers, and I hope both things will happen together with this project of Orthoto Awards. We starting with selecting photos, but also in August there will be small event 4 or 5 days for photographers to come to Poland for award ceremony, to meet together. We want to show them beauty of Poland, and also invite them for the awards ceremony. So whoever will participate in the competition will be also invited to come to Poland and to learn in real how the Church of Poland looks like. And let's come back to the competition. We start from the idea is to have 4 even 5 standard categories for every year, and which will be repeated. This is places, so we're speaking about churches, monasteries, landscapes, everything, let's say, wide. Then we have category people. We are more concentrated on portraits, on people of the church. Then we have reportages where we present life of the church, people in action, feasts, events, and we have details. So we want to say for people it's also important to look on the smoke from in the church, light and crosses, icons, everything goes into this category. And we have stories. Stories, it's 10 photos, and this is very interesting category where you tell us story. Story could be also portraits. It could be a reportage from the event, could be set of photos about monastery life. We're waiting for interesting stories, and this is also very important when we were speaking about these details and looking different on the photos. This trying to create story for the competition also will give you this idea that you need to have different kind of photos in this story
Very
to have it interesting. This year, for the beginning, we have 2 special categories. One category is from archive. We want to ask people to send us really old photos from previous centuries. So all the photos taken before 2000, they can go to this category. We have also category COVID, and we want to see the difference in the church, how COVID impact life of the church. So this is special categories, and we have also a special prize for young photographers. So whenever somebody is young and we want to promote young people, and there is special prize for young photographers, and there will be special prize also given by the Ortphoto community, and I hope this will also help community to be more active like it was before. And we're waiting for the photos to be sent before 2nd of July.
Yes. So once again, let's direct our listeners and those who are interested. They can go to awards.orthphoto.net, awards.orthphoto.net, and there are 7 categories: places, reportage, people, details. There is stories, which is between 5 and 10 pictures as a series. There is the archives, which are photos taken before the year 2000. And then, of course, COVID. And they can send those through the website. Is that correct, Alexander?
There are 2 ways. One way is just to register on the Ortphoto, upload photo on Ortphoto, and there, when the photo is already on the website, under the photo you have button apply for the competition. And another way is just to send photos for awards at Ortphoto.net, and there is also participation form together with the photos needs to be sent. So there are 2 ways of doing this, but we are open. Whenever people have some questions, they can write, ask on Facebook, wherever they found us. It's very important to have more photos from America because at this moment there is not too much participation yet. So I hope our discussion will also allow people to participate, to know about competition and to know about webpage, because we never do a special promotion. And whenever somebody feels that he wants to be active and he wants to help us in every way of doing this project or photo, is more than welcome. And just want to say also that there is another competition until end of June. You can send also photos about Hagia Sophia. This is another competition, and there are churches Hagia Sophia in America. and maybe they are still not. Nobody sent photo from these churches. So this is competition organized together with the International Assembly on Orthodoxy. It's kind of organization made by the Orthodox politicians. And because Hagia Sophia was taken and converted again for the mosque, there are some actions on this subject, and one of the action is photo competition. You need to take some pictures of the church, write a little bit about this church, and send it also on the web. You can find the information on Ortphoto about both competitions. The easiest way just to go to the homepage, and there are both banners of the competitions.
Yes.
So we really
it's here right
need
on
your
the front
photos.
page.
We really need your photos.
Hagia Sophia. Good.
Exactly.
So there's two contests. The big one is the Orthphoto Awards, and then there's also this Hagia Sophia.orthphoto.net, and that you can get all the details there at orthphoto.net. Finally, Alexander, if you would tell us a little bit about the judges of the Orthphoto Awards photo contest, because you have a very, very impressive lineup of very accomplished photographers.
What do you want to know? You want to know?
Well, what countries are they from, for instance?
You need to know also that as Orthphoto, we were organizing and helping to print album about colors of Orthodoxy, and there is already 9 albums. And there will be 10th album, Jubilee album, about Orthodoxy all over the world. But in some cases, like in Cyprus, Bulgaria, Albania, we were organizing photo competitions. So, and there were already small teams working together with us. And part of the jury is also the people who were very good and active in these competitions, like Konstantinos Charalambos, who is my friend from many years, and
Cyprus.
He's from Cyprus, and he's president of the Photographic Society in Cyprus.
Wow.
And his son is director of the movies also. And Yuri Gripas from United States is we were trying, first of all, we were trying to have jury very pan-Orthodox, let's say, and to have it from different continents, from different churches, to not to really judge as a big community of Orthodox photographers. So
it's amazing. You have Poland, Romania, Greece, Lebanon, Brazil, Serbia, Russia, France, Finland, Israel, Bulgaria, Uganda. It's amazing. Switzerland, Australia, and of course, Poland. So, Alexander, what a tremendous opportunity that is. I also want to ask you, is this contest open to anyone, or do you have to be a professional photographer?
It's for everyone. We do not divide people between professional and amateurs, and this is also very important. Capturing moment, which is also very important in the photography, happens for everyone. So we have because we organize big exhibitions also, and we have one of the best photos are not those made by the professionals, but those who capture this special moment. When there's a nice photo of Metropolitan Sava looking on a small child and holding her hand. And the most beautiful in this photo is the capturing the moment of looking eyes to eyes and smiling together. And it's done by not professional photographer, and everyone is remembering these photos. And so everyone is professional in our sense, because
love it.
Yeah, exactly.
I love it. I love it. That's wonderful. So
we're waiting for your photos, Father.
My photos are not very good, but I will try. I will try.
This is our work to judge.
I will try. Orthphoto.net. Alexander Vasiluk, thank you so much for joining us today. This was really very interesting. And go take a nap. It's 4:00 in the morning in Poland right now. Thank you for getting up in the middle of the night to be with us. Please, Send all of our brothers and sisters in the Polish Orthodox Church our love and best wishes for the upcoming Feast of Pentecost, and best wishes to you and God's blessings on this wonderful ministry that you have in orthphoto.net. Thank you for joining us this evening. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Father. It was a pleasure for me, and all the best for America.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thanks, Alexander. Before I share a few final thoughts, I do again want to offer my sincere thanks to Alexander Vasiluk for joining us tonight. Thanks also to Matuszka Trudy for engineering the program, and for everybody that listened in. Here's a few final thoughts. I wanted to read a quote of Dostoevsky regarding beauty. And he says, do you know that mankind can live without the Englishman? It can live without Germany. It can live only too well without the Russian man. It can live without science. It can live without bread. And it only cannot live without beauty. For then there would be nothing at all to do in the world. The whole secret is here. The whole of history is here. Science itself would not stand for a minute without beauty. And that's our show for tonight. Remember to like us on Facebook at facebook.com/ancientfaithtoday. Share out our program after that's posted. Give us your feedback and contact us with any ideas or topics that you might want to hear about. Join us next Tuesday evening for another edition of Ancient Faith Today. Good night, everybody.
Ancient Faith Radio thanks Gallery Byzantium for their support. Located in a charming historical coastal New England town, Gallery Byzantium is a small family-owned business that designs and handcrafts heirloom quality jewelry in the ancient Christian, Byzantine, Celtic, and Russian historic aesthetic tradition. All of their jewelry is handcrafted and designed in the U.S. of nickel-free recycled gold and silver. Gallery Byzantium designs are exclusive and one-of-a-kind. Absolute satisfaction is always guaranteed. More information is available at gallerybyzantium.com. That's gallerybyzantium.com.
Idleness, apathy, restlessness, procrastination. These are symptoms of what early Christians called despondency, a spiritual sickness rooted in a lack of care or effort. A condition as old as the ancients, despondency thrives in today's culture of leisure, anxiety, and digital distraction. Time in Despondency is a penetrating synthesis of ancient theology, spiritual memoir, and self-help practicality. It envisions despondency as the extension of a broken relationship with the experience of time. Driven by the fear of death and the anxiety of living, despondency drives us to abandon the present moment, forsaking the only temporal realm in which we have true fellowship with Christ. The remedies offered by time-honored Christian thinkers for this predicament constitute not only an antidote to despondency, but also stepping stones back to the present moment. In regaining the sacredness of time, we re-encounter the resurrection of Christ in the dark and restless moments of our lives.
Despondency, as I understand it, is a flight from the present moment. And so we have to understand what the present moment actually is in light of Christ.
To find this book and many others like it, you can go to store.ancientfaith.com. Again, that is store.ancientfaith.com.
This is Everyday Orthodox with Elisa Bielatich, a live listener call-in show where we share the stories of everyday Orthodox people as we get to know the members of the body of Christ. Join the conversation. We invite you to call in with questions at 1-855-AF-RADIO, 1-855-237-2346.
And welcome to Everyday Orthodox. We are live on Ancient Faith Radio on September 6th, 2020. Now, we get together here every Sunday night to meet another Orthodox person. And